So, now what?
And then it was over. With the archdemon dead, the Darkspawn horde quickly crumbled. Most fled back into the deep roads. They would remain a threat in the years to come, but the blight had been ended before it had truly begun. Ferelden had been saved, and the entire kingdom rose up to joyously greet its queen. Grey Warden stood redeemed, and a new age had begun. But at what cost?
Okay, so it's not over yet, is it? Well, music at least relaxing.
My friends, we are gathered to celebrate those responsible for our victory. Alistair, the son of King Merrick and last of the Therin bloodline, gave his life for us by slaying the mighty archdemon. But the one who led the battle against the Darkspawn, thankfully, remains with us still.
Okay, this is Hiccup.
Ladies and gentlemen, I present the hero of Ferelden. The first Grey Warden to defeat the Blight since Garahel 4 centuries ago.
What's up with you, Stan?
Grey Warden. It is hard to imagine how you could have aided Ferelden more. I think it only appropriate that I return the favor. Is there any boon you might request of Ferelden's queen?
Aha! Like, there is two things I'm actually hesitating between right now. It's between the title and riches and giving an independence of the Circle of the Magi. Title and riches. I wish the world to know me.
My father's tenure in Warden stands empty, as does his estate, and I gladly pass both on to you. Let it also be known that the Arling of Amaranthine, once the land of Arl Howe, is now granted to the Grey Wardens. There they can rebuild, following the example of those who went before them. What are your plans? Will you remain with the Grey Wardens?
You know, initially, my plans were to travel with Liliana around the world. So, I think I'll travel, at least for a time.
I don't suppose the Grey Wardens are really in a position to stop you, are they? Then let me say, I hope your travels bring you back this way soon. You will always be welcome here. There is a group of eager Ferelden citizens waiting outside to get a look at their hero. I suggest you make at least a brief appearance before they storm the gate. Just tell the guard at the door when you are ready.
Oh, guys, I need to save this. I need to save this. Oh, what? Wait, what? Where is my staff? Oh, no. Oh, you scared me for a while. Like, guys, I know I could easily give, like, the independence for the Circle of the Magi, but I am playing the role of this character, and I was planning to play it from the beginning to the end. And with this character, I wanted to be known, and I think that even if I give the Circle of the Magi an independence, well, what can I say? I don't know. It has nothing to do for me, but can I talk to everyone now?
It is very strange to hear so many speak of a mage in such glowing terms. Deserved, of course, but still not what I am accustomed to. Allow me to offer you my congratulations and my thanks. The tower is now nearly restored to order. It could have been so much worse.
Well, you're welcome, First Enchanter. This is the least I can say you for not giving that circle an independence.
It pleases me to see such a young pupil achieve prominence. I look forward to watching what you accomplish next. Now, I should leave you to your celebration. Holdred's revolt has left me very quick to tire these days. Retirement will come soon, I think.
Okay, now it's just you guys. Liliana, Zevran, Stan. Where's Doggy? Oh, here you are. Well, that's all that's left from my almighty party, but I will explain this part a bit later.
So here we are. The conquering heroine has won the day, and now she takes her bow and exits the stage. A fine ending.
Takes her bow. Yeah, you should be taking a bow with me.
And my part was small. I'm happy to watch you receive the accolades. It's quite fun. You know, I can't help now but think of my vision. The Maker sent me to help you, and look what you did. It's a miracle. It truly is. So, if I heard right, you'll be leaving soon. Any room for an extra body on your travels?
Oh, absolutely. That was the plan. No, only if it's you.
Good. Because there's nowhere I'd rather be than at your side. At any rate, I should let you get back to your celebration before someone drags you away. I look forward to seeing you again afterwards.
Yeah, like, traveling with Liliana around the world was my primary goal since I started to get close with her.
I will be relieved when all this pomp and ceremony is done. Such events are perfect opportunities for assassins, after all. I can't help but expect the crows to appear at any moment, which would be a welcome break, mind you.
So, you still think the crows would be after you?
Eventually. With Tharisen dead, it may take them time to figure out what has happened, but they are like the tides, predictable. You know, it does occur to me that staying in one place is only going to invite the crows to find me that much quicker. While fun, that might eventually get complicated. You said earlier that you were planning on leaving soon. Is that true?
Yeah, indeed, that's what I said.
And would you consider some company? You tend to get up to interesting things. You meet interesting people and then you kill them. I'm game to tag along if you are.
You know, even though Liliana was my primary goal, but you are fun to listen. Yeah, sure, I'll be happy for the company.
And I promise not to get you into too much trouble. Well, no more than you get me into, anyhow. Well then, since we're going to be leaving together, we can speak after you have been sufficiently paraded in front of the populace. Don't worry, I'll keep an eye on you and make sure no one gets a clear shot. Not without paying me a great deal of coin, anyhow.
Okay guys, and this is a little part where I am a little worried. I really hope that after I said that I would gladly include him with me, I hope this won't disqualify Liliana. I just want to make sure of that.
If I write a tale about all this, I'm leaving out details on the food. They don't even make good food here in the palace.
And what about you, Stan?
It is good to see you again, Kadan. These people, they call you hero. It is a strange word, but I think I understand its meaning. The Arishok on occasion has declared a Kunari to be Kunoran Vel, one who serves as an example to others. Such examples are always made after their death, however, a death in service to the Kyun. A living Kunoran Vel would be too proud.
Well, seriously, nothing is wrong with the little pride.
I would argue, had you not ended a blight. For such an accomplishment, there may be allowances. What the human custom has in common with our own is that the declaration of a Kunoran Vel is a cause for much celebration. It is one of few occasions when the Kunari are permitted to engage in revelry. There is imbibing of spirits, public chanting, meditations abandoned. It is madness.
Yeah, but don't you ever smile?
I am smiling. I suppose I should tell you. I have decided to return to my people. Your quest is done, and thus so is my reason for accompanying you.
Yeah, and here I was just starting to get used to you.
And I to you, strangely enough. It must be said. You found my sword and gave me a chance to restore my honor. I owe you a great debt.
Yeah, you helped me as well. It's been good.
It has. That one of the Baz, a foreigner, would become known as Kadan to me. Unthinkable. Yet here it is. Perhaps I shall see you again one day. Until then, may you always find the path you seek. Farewell, Kadan.
Oh, I cannot talk to the doggy. That's the pity. But you know what, guys? Since I am a bit worried that travel in Zevran can screw up my... I'd say... can screw up my traveling with Liliana. I will see how it ends up, and if Liliana is not traveling with me, I will have to reload this to the point where how it was intended to be, traveling with Liliana alone. But you know, me traveling in the company of two rogues, sure. So now it's time for me to...
Are you ready, my lady? The crowds outside are getting restless.
Restless? Oh, what am I supposed to do?
Just put in an appearance, so I understand. The people just want to see their hero in person. I'm supposed to take you to your escort, full brigade, their armor all shined up and everything. They're really honored to be guarding you, let me tell you.
Let's go then!
Right. I'll take you there now. Follow me.
In months that followed the coronation, Anora proved herself an adept ruler. Trade agreements with other lands quickly brought new funds into the royal coffers, and the queen saw the capital rebuilt. The army was restored. Laws were passed to encourage freeholders to produce sufficient harvests, and plans were conceived for the university. Should I click or something? Despite Loghain being executed in disgrace, Queen Honora insisted on building a monument to her father, overlooking a religion embassy. The statue was largely ignored, save by Honora herself, who voyaged out of the statue once a year to place flowers at its feet. As years passed, Honora continued to rebuff the advice of Ferelden's nobility, requesting that she remarry. Though prospective suitors from the other nations visited Denrim from time to time, the queen only commanded that all of them fall far short of the bar she measures them against, that of her father. News that Urn of Sacred Ashes has been found in Ferelden did not spread outside the Chantra until Brother Genitivi made the announcement several months after the defeat of the Darkspawn. The manuscripts detailing his research and his experience with Andraste Skull drew huge interest among scholars through Thedas. Several years later, Chantra announced that the resting place of Andraste's ashes had indeed been found. A ripple of excitement spread among the people of Thedas, with many undertaking pilgrimages to see the ashes or partake of their healing powers. Following a month of effort, the Tower of Circle of Magi was finally cleansed of the last spirit to sleep through the veil. No further abominations were created, and First Enchanter Irvin was pleased to declare a circle safe. All that could be saved had been. With the slavers shut down in alienage, their lot of city-born elves improved for a time. A food storage years later forced Queen Honora to come down hard on elven writers, an act not quickly forgiven, and signed that tensions between the elves and humans were far from resolved. Shiani continued to be outspoken member of the alienage community and in time became a new elder. That outspokenness earned her frequent trouble but served her people well. Arl Eamon returned to Redcliffe, beginning the long task of rebuilding. He found the village already bustling and eager to leave behind all the memories of those terrible nights facing undead. Connor was sent off to study at Circle, and considering his earlier experiences, he excelled in his training and easily passed the heroine to become a full mage. At his father's urging, Connor accepted a position in Tevinter to undertake formal study of the Fate. Dalish elves prospered after the siege at Denerim, having earned much respect for their part in the battle. For once, human lands welcomed the wandering folk. A new keeper, Lanaya, was respected both amongst Dalish as well as in Ferelden court. She was a voice of reason, and other Dalish clans would turn to her for help resolve disputes with the human folk. In time, many of the Dalish clans moved to a new land provided for them in the south near the Ostagar. Wary of their human neighbors, however, tensions soon rose again, and only Keeper Lanaya leadership kept peace alive. In Orzammar, King Balin quickly proved himself a reformer. Trade with the surface lands increased and caste restrictions were loosened. The casteless were permitted to take arms again against the Darkspawn in exchange for new freedoms. For the first time in generations, the line in the deep roads was pushed back and few thags were reclaimed. Balin's reforms quickly found him enemies within the warrior and noble caste. However, and after several assassination attempts, the assembly was dissolved. The king then ruled alone. Some said as a tyrant, others said as the visionary determined to drag Orzammar into the modern world. The dwarven mage Dagna ultimately completed her studies at the rebuilt circle tower on the surface. Eventually, she published a comprehensive theory of how lyrium vapors relate to supply of magic. It gained a great deal of attention. It inspired mages from the other parts of Thedas to establish a new circle of magi in Orzammar itself that had ready access to dwarven lyrium and lies outside the Chantry's power completely. The willingness of Orzammar to harbor apostates sparkled out outrage that began whispers that the Divine was contemplating a new exalted march. It was not long before Branka mastered Karadin's technique, learning how to use the Anvil of the Void to create new golems, the first in many centuries. The dwarven people greeted this news with cheers, though few knew of the cost. At first, King Balin worked eagerly with Branka to provide subjects, willing or not, so that golems could push the Darkspawn back. This arrangement was not to last, however. Before long, Branka began to refuse to create golems only for King, who soon banned use of Anvil. His men attacked Branka fortress in Deep Road, forcing her to shut this tide. Years into siege, Balin was forced to relent. The fortress guarded by Branka's golems remained impenetrable. True to her word, Morrigan vanished the same night she made her offer at Redcliffe Castle. Someone of Morrigan's description was later seen traveling alone, heading west through the Frostback Mountains. Several years later, tales out of Orlais said that a strange dark-haired mage had insinuated herself within the Empress' court. As for my companions, they went their separate ways. When I finally left Denrim to continue her travels, Liliana went with her, electing to remain with a woman she loved. They continued their adventures together, at least for a time. As the Blighted Lands began to hurl and the Grey Warden slowly rebuilt the Order in Amaranthine, they discovered that the fight against the Darkspawn was not yet complete. Although the Horde was routed and had dissolved upon the Archdemon Death, many of more powerful Darkspawn survived to organize roving war bands that preyed both upon the land and upon each other. These war bands spread havoc, and some even journeyed west into Orlais or crossed the Shining Sea by the deep roads. They proved incredibly difficult to wipe out. But these were tales yet to be told. This tale ended with the death of the Archdemon and the end of the Blight before it truly began. Surely I would be heard from again. Wait. I think I've missed the credits, guys. So let's actually do this again, because I think I accidentally misclicked this. For this only. So guys, with all that, we are finally done with the main campaign of the Dragon Age Origins. And you know, as my total impressions, this is an awesome game with a huge potential, but a bit, I would say, unrefined, if you know what I mean. And what I'm gonna do, I will just basically run through all the aspects which are important for me in the games, like from the most important to the least important, and just try to describe what I did like and did not like in any aspect of it. So the most significant part of any game for me is the story and the plot. So what can I say about the plot? It was dark, like it really was dark. It was not like peaches and everything, like it was the dark fantasy, and I really liked this. But the plot-wise, there still were some holes which literally spoiled a lot of my impressions. Like, plot-wise, I thought that the gathering the army part was actually the weakest part of the game, and like, you know, in terms of the plot interest, that's where the least plot-wise, it was the least plotty. I don't know how can I possibly explain to it, but it was still for me as the weakest part. And the main reason why I consider it is this way is that, first of all, that was the part where I ran out of the options to talk with companions. And if you guys remember my earlier stages, the party camp and talking to this were basically my favorite part of the game. And when I simply ran out of the options to talk, you know, that's where I felt the game was a bit empty, this part. And what I really wished they improved, the BioWare has improved, the outcomes of the missions. Like, say, left the Anvil of the Void alive. So, like, after the mission, I wanted to hear my companions at camp, like, their thoughts about my decision of saving the Void. And I actually was looking forward to it, like, to speak with Liliana and hopefully save the terms and everything. Unfortunately, that didn't happen, and that was the big blow for me, and that left me a bit disappointed on that part. And that's the story-wise. The most significant part is the gameplay and the game mechanics. Here I would start maybe at the negative part, since I have less negativity on it than a positivity, so I'll just get over this and finish on the positive note. Gameplay wise, I thought that at some points it was a bit repetitive, like to do the same stuff again and again, like Fireball, the Cone of Cold and everything. Like, the game lacked a bit of the variety, if I can say so. But other than that, I didn't have that much of the complaints, if I can say so. Really, it was, the gameplay wise, the game was nice, flawless. Well, about the flawless, it's more on the technical part, but anyways. And gameplay wise, I didn't have a single thought about that I should leave the game, uninstall it and never return to this again. Like, never. I have never get this thing in my head. Next part, which is utterly important, but not as much as previous two, surroundings and the atmosphere of the entire game. Like, this is a completely new world with its own laws, with its own alliances and enemies and wars and everything. I really like the Kodai. Like, I always read a new Kodai and everything just to know the bit better about everything. And I seriously cannot say anything bad about the atmosphere. The BioWare managed to make the atmosphere exactly how it should look like in terms of the uprising blight, like despair, and everything. Atmosphere, without doubt, was absolutely awesome. Next part is the technical part. The main frustration for me was the very, very stupid AI, and that's what caused the most frustration of me. But I've managed to handle this. Like, I was okay with babysitting every single party member, but still I would wish them to be a bit more useful by themselves. Also, technically, some of the textures were, blurry and everything, but I stopped paying attention to the textures like long ago, since I was absorbed myself into the atmosphere and everything. And there were some crashes, some of them were extremely outrageous, and some missing textures, but yeah, there are not too much of them. But some technical glitches like elves sitting in the air and everything. Well, I assume this is what just the flaws of the gaming engine. And as I said before, for Dracon, the engine was not optimized for such game, where it requires a lot of NPCs and the armies, Hopefully they would fix this part in Dragon Age 2, which I definitely will do once I just finish all of the campaigns and everything. I'm just trying to figure if I have missed anything else I didn't do. Graphics, like, the least significant to me. Like, I never pay attention to the graphics as long as the game is engaging and it is very interesting to play with and you want to continue. You simply stop paying attention to graphics. That's what I can say about it. Like, they were decent, but I can forgive them that they came as the port from the consoles, and the consoles were even more terrible at that part. But even if at the beginning I was like conspecting everything that I liked and didn't like, and at first I was thinking that after I'm done with writing all of my impressions, and I will structurize this into the, say, appropriate wheel of thoughts. Then I just thought, you know what, screw this, I will just give you a fresh opinion on everything, and if I forget something I did from my impression list, so be it. So, which means they weren't significantly important on the first part. And honestly guys, I'm just trying to think yet again if I missed anything that might have been important. Yes, the music and voice acting. And I have actually skipped this as the section, but it is not the least important for me. It is on the same level as the atmosphere, because the music is a significant part of the atmosphere. The music were beautiful. It was fitting into the situation. Like, so far from what I can remember, I did not have a single, say, situation where I thought that the music was simply inappropriate or anything. No, none of this were unfitting or anything. And the voice actings, they were also very fitting to the characters, very smooth. Like, none of these characters sounded like I wanted to literally plug my ears and just stop it. Like, you know? So, yeah, that's what I can say about the music. And I think that would be everything that I could possibly share on my part. If I forgot something once again, that means that this was not significantly important for the impression. But in general, definitely worth buying, definitely worth playing, and definitely worth like bearing couple things, like some flaws. But even though there might have been significant ones, but replayability value is absolutely huge, and I would definitely play it on my own time with different characters. And if you guys want me, I could, well, at least try to introduce you to my new characters. I don't know if I could say something else about this. No. I don't think that I actually can add something about my impressions, honestly. But you know, guys, now that I am thinking about this, I will see if me traveling with just Liliana, not with Zevran, would change anything, and if it will, I will record this entire part yet again, and that will tell, and I will show you if there are any differences. But if there is not, alright guys, I am back! Somehow, because of my stupid antivirus which gave the pop-up message, the Dragon Age managed to crash in the main menu. That's actually something new. But what I wanted to finish this with is that I will play this once again, like the ending of it, the epilogue. But I will only give Liliana with me, and if it would make any differences with it, I will show you this new ending, guys. But to finish this, that was the Dragon Age Origins, the full blind let's play. And thank you guys, everyone. Thank you to everyone who stayed with me from the beginning to the end, and through the basically an evolution of the game, where I have started with the crappy computer and unoptimized performance to possibly the best what I can do about the optimization and everything. So like what I am planning to do next, I actually, guys, want to make a little break from Dragon Age adventures, and by that, what I'm gonna do, I will continue my adventures in Fallout 3, the remaining DLCs, since I simply wanna finish them. And once I do this, I will go back to the Dragon Age Origins to make continue with my blind let's play of Dragon Age Origins additional campaigns. So this is it, guys. That was Dragon Age Origins, and I will see you guys very soon. Bye.